Hi, it's Rupert Hine here from Action Coach near Kinross, and I'm joined today by Natasha and Jamila from the Good Store in Edinburgh. Welcome, folks.
Hello, Rupert and Natasha here from the Good Store.
My name's
So,
Jamila.
hi, Jamila. So, tell us, what's the Good Store all about?
The Good Store
Mm.
is a organic food store. So we came together about 4 years ago now, over 4 years ago, and discussed how it was really difficult in the city centre to be able to get some quality organic food, especially plastic-free um, food at supermarkets. So we decided to open up our own shop.
Yeah.
And now we have an organic, plastic-free, package-free store with a lot of health products, and it's kind of just growing into a really good store.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. So just tell us a little bit about the process of deciding to start your own business. What took you to the point you've seen a niche, you've seen a need for this, but what thought did you go through in terms of actually running it yourselves?
I think we were both looking for something more in the jobs that we were in previous to this. And we're always looking for, development in ourselves and like creating something, creating a space, I think. So when we both kind of got into the world of plastic free shopping just in general, and there wasn't really that in Edinburgh at the time, we were like, maybe we could be the people who bring that to, the community. So, and then we just got really excited and thought, can we actually do this? And just started. We just, yeah.
It was a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
So you don't really think too far ahead. It's more, let's have a meeting, let's have a discussion. How about if we do this? And before you know it, you're already down the line of, have created this business, which is, completely viable, and there's no reason not to anymore. You just go for it, because you have to eventually at the end just say, let's go for it.
Absolutely. So, what skills were you bringing with you from your past lives? What were the expertise that you had that you brought into this?
I think for me personally, I'd managed an online health food store previous to starting this. So I knew how to work with, suppliers and, all that kind of, and managing a team, and yeah, just the connections as well that I had through doing that was a bonus. Yeah, and just working with websites and e-commerce and things like that as well. So it was a varied amount of knowledge I think I brought in.
Yeah. I think from my side, I worked in finance for many years, and business finance. So I knew it was, how to start, and then see how it would then continue. But I think more personally, I was raising a small family at the time, and we were producing a lot of waste, and I was seeing what was coming in and out of the house, and what kind of products we were using that I didn't feel were very, child friendly, or, full of chemicals, and I started to really research and found that there wasn't anywhere in Edinburgh. So I think it was a mixture of both, that business side, that kind of entrepreneurial side, but also from a personal, more family orientated. I knew there must have been other families in Edinburgh that wanted to do the same.
And, and what would you say has been the biggest challenge or learning curve you've had when you've started the business?
I think actually, like, knowing what customers want is a huge thing. You like to think, because we'll get what we like to, especially at the beginning, we're like, everyone will buy this, and then find that you don't sell as much as you think you're going to. So that in itself, and fine-tuning your stock, is just like one aspect of, the difficulties with business.
You also move from being the customer to being the business owner. So you don't really have that inside knowledge anymore that you had when we first started, because we're looking at it from a different angle, you know, as a business, you know, trying to increase sales, trying to do marketing and advertising. We're not really seeing it, you know, as, you know, what we're actually looking for, what products. So that you're right, the product research is really important and know what customers want. I would also say that accepting change and accepting that things will not always go your way. So you can have a business plan, and you can have a 5-year business plan if you want. However, when things like the pandemic come along, or Brexit, you know, you have to really be able to change very quickly your business model to adapt.
Yeah, and I mean that's you will have been what, about a year into your journey when
Not even
2 months.
2 months.
Oh wow. So all this talk of pivoting and change, you're right in at the start. So how did you do that? You'd set up the store, you've got your model in your mind, and then the whole way in which the world gets its supplies and shops has changed overnight. How did you manage that?
We'd always planned to kind of go online at some point in the near future, but we just adapted really quickly and had to put that to the forefront, because, you know, people weren't really allowed in shops at that point. So we created a system whereby people could order online in a really simple format and then come and collect or have the goods delivered. And we just advertised that in the local area, which was great. And we had such a great response from that. And fortunately, because our suppliers that we use are as local as possible, we didn't really have a big issue with getting the supply of the goods. And we had a really close connection with all the people that we were working with. So yeah, we were quite fortunate in that way, weren't we? That we were still selling food, people still needed to eat, and they were finding it really difficult to source from supermarkets at the time as well. So we kind of just jumped in.
I would also say that we had to upskill very quickly. So Jamila had to learn to code very quickly and in order for us to be able to reach a wider audience. So again, that's another thing that you have to be able to do, is to be able to upskill yourself and wear many hats at the same time.
Absolutely. I mean, it's often said that you can't out earn your learning.
Exactly.
The game of business is all about learning. So what are how did you go about doing that learning? Where did you learn from?
Sorry, did you ask that again?
Where did you learn from? What were the sources of gaining the knowledge? You've decided, you know, you've got to learn to code, you've got to learn about the way customers.
If I'm honest, I think to begin with, it was our customers. So what they said was they still wanted us to be around, you know, they still needed us. And so we asked them, you know, what would be helpful for you? You know, what would you want us to be able to provide for you? How would you like us to be able to do that? And once we had all that, you know, information, we were then able to say, right, okay, well, in order for us to do that, we need to create things. And in order to create things, we have to really who's going to pick what job and how are we going to learn to do that. So I think in terms of coding, you know, there are so many resources out there in terms of free courses, even before you start having to pay anything, you know, and looking at different websites and what they offer and comparing, and you know, it all takes time. However, once you start piecing things together and they fall into place, again, I would say it's from our customers that let us know, you know, how they would like to shop and what makes it easier for them.
And also, I must say as well, we have there's a lot of Facebook groups for like zero waste shop owners, which is a great source of knowledge. You know, got any questions, you can just jump right on there, and people are more than happy to kind of help you out. So because everyone's normally gone through the exact same thing. So yeah,
it's brilliant to be able to build a community around you that that's there to help. So you
Yeah.
mentioned that one of the things as you went into this, Natasha, was you were bringing up a young family. And starting a business, particularly a retail business, is fairly full on. How have both of you managed the competing demands on your time of running your own business and looking after your families?
Still learning.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the person and who you are. I'm very used to being busy and juggling things. You know, when I had a really young family, I was still studying at the same time and working part-time. You have to be able to manage your time really well. So I think when we first started, and luckily enough there are two of us, so we are able to share out those jobs, and be able to understand that sometimes I have to spend more time with my family, and sometimes, Jamila can take on a little bit more work. So it does, is it all about balance, I think. And sometimes we get it wrong, like any other person. Sometimes it's, you go too far one way, and before I know it, I've spent days and days working and not really spent any time, quality time with family, but it's a constant juggle. You never really I don't think anybody has the the answer. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's one of the reasons why it's such an interesting thing to talk about, because we're all learning off each other the whole time. So if you were starting all over again, what would be the one piece of advice you would give yourselves to do differently? Maybe the biggest thing that you've learned in the process so far.
That's a tough one. What would I think maybe just to be a bit easier on ourselves, like out with the kind of business side of things. Just personally, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get it right first time. And that's just not the way that the world works, and how business works. And as we're talking about how things change a lot quite quickly, I think that you can put a lot of pressure on yourself, which takes away from just enjoying the experience. And all the years that we've kind of gone through, it's amazing to look back on and say, remember this time, remember that time. At the time, you're so very aware of, the pressure that you're under, and it's only personal pressure, or it's not really external pressure. So just enjoying every moment, I think, and reducing the pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I think you're right. Enjoying the moment, and having patience. I think sometimes certainly myself, we can be quite creative, and when I vision something, I want to see it now, I want it to appear, and we put lots of energy and work into it. And sometimes these things, just like I've mentioned before, take time. And so just to have a little patience, trust in yourself, trust in your instincts, I think, because usually those are, believe in yourself that you can actually do it. I think that's the hardest part of a business.
Self-doubt.
Yeah, you feel that, am I doing it wrong? Did we make the wrong decisions? And you'll never really know. However, have patience, have belief in yourself, and just keep going. Really.
Yeah.
No, that's a great philosophy. So where next? Where are you going? Where's the good store going to be in 5-10 years time?
10 years time.
10 years time. Where's it
a
going to
long
be?
time. I mean, we've always wanted to have more than one store. That's always kind of been in our mind's eye. Whether it be just in Edinburgh or further afield, that would be great as well. I think with what's happened with the pandemic and Brexit and the cost of living crisis, it has changed our trajectory in regards to our timeline. But it doesn't mean that that's still not going to be an option for us going forward. So we're still always striving to have you know, hit a different area of Edinburgh that doesn't have, you know, a shop like this that they can, you know, just pop into. You know, it's all about accessibility with the way that people can shop with us. So that's always been something that we've wanted.
Growth is definitely, if your business isn't growing, then it's not really a business. You know, you want to be able to supply, you know, more customers. That's the whole point. And we believe that a sustainable business like ourselves, people want to shop more sustainably. It just has to be convenient. And so in order to do that, we have to then, you know, drop stores in different areas, and then it becomes convenient. So growth is definitely on the cards. In 10 years exactly, I have no idea. But I hope we're still here. I hope there's more stores, and I hope we're helping people to be that little bit more sustainable with their shopping.
Fantastic. Well, you know, with a philosophy like that, you know, that you're clearly both really committed to learning. Business is a game of learning. It's all about having the dream, creating the goal, learning what you need to learn so you can create the plans and take action. And I'd be pretty confident that you'll have those additional stores in the future. So look, ladies, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
No, thank you for having us.
It's been fascinating, and yeah, very best of luck with the rest of your journey.
Thank you very much, Rupert. Bye bye now.
Bye.